Welcome to Stories Room. Enjoy listening and don't forget to subscribe. Yesterday, I got a call from Greenview Hospital that Lily had been in a collision. During the 35-minute drive there, all I could do was pray that she'd be safe. I rushed into the ER and found her receiving treatment. It was a relief to hear she wasn't in any life-threatening condition. A nurse passed me Lily's phone and other belongings. When I asked how the accident happened, the nurse said they didn't have complete details yet, but the cops were already looking into it. The investigating officers arrived soon after and handed me a copy of their initial findings. I was taken aback. Lily had been intoxicated, crashed into a parked car, and then swerved onto the sidewalk. If she'd veered into oncoming traffic, it could have been fatal. Several things immediately set off alarm bells. She shouldn't have been anywhere near that road during a Wednesday afternoon. Since she was supposed to be at work, her office is 25 miles away from the crash site. Why on earth was she drunk in the middle of the day? The police gave me dashboard footage that showed her blasting loud music and driving recklessly. The doctors confirmed her blood alcohol content was high. I ended up in an hour-long interrogation. The officers wondered if she was depressed, maybe we'd argued, or something else that made her drink and drive. I showed them our recent texts, nothing alarming. Lily had wished me a good day and ended with, "I love you." We hadn't argued. There was no sign of a fight. They also asked why she was so far from her usual route. I honestly had no clue. After an hour, they believed I wasn't involved in any foul play and let me go. Eventually, I was allowed to see Lily in her hospital room. She was groggy but conscious. The first thing she asked was, "Where's my phone?" She was in pain, under the effects of anesthesia, yet all she cared about was her phone. I fibbed, saying it was still with hospital staff. She relaxed a bit, though her question only heightened my suspicions. I waited until she drifted off to sleep. The nurse had handed me Lily's phone earlier, but it was dead. I used my own power bank to charge it. The instant it switched on, it lit up with notifications. One contact, saved as Riverside Deli, kept messaging and calling non-stop. That's the corner eatery from which we usually order takeout. But why would a restaurant be blowing up Lily's phone at night? Normally, I wouldn't invade her privacy, but the sheer weirdness of it all pushed me to unlock her phone. The fingerprint sensor made it easy. Over the course of that long night, I discovered my marriage was a sham. The frantic messages were from the same contact, Riverside Deli, which turned out to be someone else's number. Lily had disguised it so I'd never suspect a thing if a so-called restaurant called or texted. It turned out she'd been cheating on me for at least 6 months with a guy named Keith, whose number I didn't recognize. Their messages were disgusting, mocking me and describing their hookups. She repeatedly ridiculed my performance in bed, saying I barely lasted, and that she faked satisfaction to keep me happy. It made me sick, literally. She'd been meeting him every week, sometimes more often. It was clear she was coming back from one of their sessions when she crashed. That's also why she was so worried about her phone. Lily knew the evidence was right there. I felt sick to my stomach reading their explicit chats. She was sexting him at random times, even right in front of me. Like that night we watched a movie and got intimate. She'd apparently been texting Keith in secret. We'd had date nights, weekend trips, plenty of conversation, and 2 nights of sex per week seemed reasonable to me. But apparently for her, it wasn't enough. She never talked about wanting more. She never said anything was missing. I thought we were honest with each other. Clearly not. I checked her social media. No mention of Keith. Their entire affair went down over private chats. There I was, sitting in a hospital chair all night while Lily slept, feeling like a fool. By morning, I was seething. I just wanted to beat the daylights out of Keith. But I also realized I had to get out of there. I left Lily in the hospital, tossed her phone, then went home and threw all her stuff outside. I also did a few other things. Here's how it went down. After leaving the hospital, her phone kept buzzing with messages and missed calls from Keith. I decided I'd deal with him first. I unlocked Lily's phone and texted him, pretending to be her. "Lily, stop calling me. I don't want to see you again." "Keith, wait, what's going on? Did I do something? I promise next time we'll spend more time together. Talk to me." "Lily, I'm never meeting you again. Stop texting. Keith, let's at least talk this out. I could pick you up from work. Lily, I don't enjoy sex with you anymore. You're just a toy. Your junk doesn't thrill me now. Found a cuter guy who lasts longer. Keith, what? You're kidding, right? Lily, one more text, and I'll tell your wife everything, you jerk. Keith, you slut. And that shut him up. Next, I opened Lily's work email. She'd stayed logged in on her phone and sent a resignation to her manager, demanding immediate termination. The manager replied, asking for a reason, and I fired back some nonsense about their toxic work culture and how he was a serial groper who harassed female employees. Within minutes, Lily was effectively jobless. One small victory. Then I took her credit card and drained the little money left. I burned her ID cards, passport, bank documents, everything. After that, I flushed the ashes. She can rummage in the sewer if she wants them back. It'll take her months, maybe years, to restore all those documents, especially while she's in a cast for at least 2 months. I knew she'd soon wake up, realize she didn't have her phone or any insurance details, and no way to pay her bills. Sure, maybe she'd manage to contact the insurance company or call her parents, but none of that would be easy. They live 5 hours away. Let's see how her friends handle it. When the hospital called, asking me to finalize her discharge, I said, I'm busy, but I'll come tomorrow. That would force them to keep her at least another day. Later, they called again to say Lily was restless and asking for me. I kept stalling, saying I'd be there soon. Meanwhile, I changed the locks at home. My next step was to consult a lawyer about divorcing Lily without paying her a dime. It's been chaotic. I messed around with hospital staff for 2 more days, claiming I was out of town on business. Lily smelled a rat. She figured out I wasn't answering on purpose, and she likely realized I'd discovered the affair. Normally, I'd be there for her in any crisis, but this time I vanished. Before vanishing entirely, though, I collected every shred of evidence, screenshots of texts, call logs, and looped in my lawyer. Lily must have contacted her parents, because they soon arrived banging on my door, yelling that I left her for dead and didn't call them. I let them get it out of their systems, then calmly showed them their precious daughter's filthy sex with Keith. Their fury instantly turned to apologetic whimpers. Yes, what she did was terrible, but this is going too far. She needs you. I laughed. She vowed not to cheat, right? Yet she screwed around with another man. Now I'm just returning the favor. Don't talk to me about vows. Furious, they left, threatening legal action. I told them to grab Lily's stuff from the lawn on their way out. They cursed me, took her belongings, and presumably took Lily in once she was discharged. My lawyer has since confirmed the divorce papers are on the way. We'll use her infidelity as grounds, along with her plan to divorce me for financial gain, thanks to all those incriminating messages. So far, so good. The divorce papers reached Lily, and she completely lost it. She's immobilized in a cast, bombarding me with voicemails that swing between threats, insults, and pleas for mercy. I ignored it all. Then she sent a long email saying she'd sue me for destroying her IDs, emptying her credit card, and faking her resignation. I replied, go ahead, if you've got the money to fight this. I'll countersue for humiliation and infidelity, and I have proof. So decide if it's worth it. She went quiet on the legal threats, but wouldn't sign the papers. Finally, she asked for a face-to-face meeting. My lawyer advised me to meet in a public place, with a recording device, and absolutely no physical contact. I agreed. At the cafe, I sat down, phone recording on the table. She started off bitter. You ruined me. No job, no money, and no man. Keith bailed the second he realized I was in trouble. Oddly enough, she then dismissed Keith as a loser. We had a brief laugh, remembering old times when she'd joke about random guys hitting on her back in our dating days. But then she asked, why are you doing this? Why such a harsh revenge? I asked, why did you sleep with Keith when you knew how good we had it? She had no answer, muttered something about harmless fun, claiming she never intended to leave me. I never loved Keith, she insisted. I just wanted variety. It didn't mean anything. I told her I'd never forgive her. She apologized, trying to hold my hand. I jerked away. She promised she'd be faithful now, but that just made me scoff. You already promised that on our wedding day. Didn't stop you from hooking up with someone else? She broke down, finally signing the divorce papers with trembling hands. We were both crying. A decade of love shattered. On my way out, I sarcastically asked if she'd run back to Keith. She said he wanted nothing to do with her now. He said he wouldn't keep cheating on his wife for a fickle woman. Rough. She added, I guess you're happy. You got your revenge. I lost everything. Maybe I deserve it. I just got up and walked away. Driving home, I questioned myself. Did I take this too far? Am I a terrible person? Or was this fair payback? Why don't I feel satisfied after all that revenge? I still can't answer that. It's too early. I just have to face the reality. I was a happily married man a few months ago, and now I'm divorced. That's the end of our story. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on new stories and share this video so others can discover these great stories too.